Hi, seventh grade. Welcome back. Today we're going to continue working on this documents. So on Monday, we went over this election that we're having. So we're going to continue working on that today. So I'm going to go over a couple mistakes or a couple issues that I saw with this document. So there are two people running, right? It says here it is Mr. Merlos and Miss Crawford. We're both running. Okay. And then here it says all students have the option of voting. So when we got to this question, a lot of students said Mr. Merlos or Miss Crawford, or someone said Ms. Lara, another person said Mr. Kanda. Now, I don't know where you got that from. So the answer was all students. The students are going to be voting. Okay. So what that shows me was that you either didn't watch the video or you didn't read this part, which I guess you could have missed it because it's small. Okay. If we go here, again, the size of the homeroom is based on a representation of the states. For example, Yale has 10 students. That would be the equivalent of a state that has 10 million people. Cal has 12, so that's a representation of a state that might have 12 million people. Same thing with Duke and Northwestern. And then if we go here, USF 10 million. So again, for example, UC Davis has 21 million, so that's a representation of a state that I'm sorry, not 21 million, 21 students, so that's equivalent to 21 million, kind of like Florida. Okay, let's go over some of these questions. Which homerooms have the most students? The most students are held in fifth grade. Michigan, Harvard, and Stanford have the most students, 39. So they're the biggest homerooms. Which homerooms have the least amount of students? I believe those are eighth grade. Yale, they have 10. USF, and USC. How many homerooms are there? I think there are three. I think there's 12 homerooms. How many student government representatives does each homeroom have? Each homeroom has two representatives. Okay, two representatives, and those are going to be important later in the topic. Okay, each one has two. Even if they're small, they still have two. Right, the big ones have two, and the small ones have two. Okay. The election is optional. Do you think that every student will vote? Someone said yes. The answer to that is most likely not, right? Similar to the United States, not everyone votes um, for different reasons, right? In the United States, not everybody's a citizen, but at KIPP Summit, everybody can vote, but they don't vote because they don't want to, right? Maybe they don't like the candidates, maybe they don't think that the candidates represent them, and or they're just apathetic, they don't feel like it. So the answer to that is most likely no. Why did I give homeroom a certain number of students? Again, to represent the state populations. Okay. Um, and then the last one, it says, if you were advising me or Ms. Crawford, which hormones would you recommend they spend the most time on? What would you say? A lot of you guys said fifth grade, because if you win fifth grade, if you win the most students in fifth grade, you will technically win the election, right? Because they're the biggest homerooms, right? Um, so that's interesting. Okay, so now we get to the results. This is where things get a little fishy. After a tough election cycle, the election comes to an end. The polls are closed, so people can no longer vote. The popular vote. The popular vote means who got the most votes per homeroom, right? So in fifth grade, just a homeroom of Michigan, I got 20 votes. Ms. Crawford got 14 votes, and 5 students did not vote. So in Michigan, I win the popular vote, right? Because I got more students. In Harvard, I got 14 votes. Ms. Crawford got 16 votes. Again, I win the popular vote. Ms. Crawford does not. In Stanford, I got 20 votes. Ms. Crawford got 15 votes. 4 students did not vote here. 5 students did not vote here. So I won the popular vote in all of fifth grade. So I won the most votes. Um, that's all I'm going to talk about, just who won the most votes. So who won the popular vote in these homerooms combined? So I just gave you the answer to that, right? What homerooms did Mr. Merlos win in fifth grade? What homerooms did Miss Crawford win in fifth grade? So this is a pretty straightforward, right? These are the results for just fifth grade. You're going to do the same thing for 6th grade, right? In 6th grade, you see B, Mr. Myrtle's got 5 votes. Remember, the homeless were smaller, so it's smaller amounts. I got 5 votes. Miss Crawford got 6 votes, right? One student did not vote. Northwestern, I got 5 votes. She got 6 votes. One student did not vote. And Duke, I got 5 votes, and she got 6 votes. So very similar here, okay? So on Tuesday, you'll be working on questions on section C, section D, and then we get to 7th grade, you do the same thing, section E and section F, and you'll stop there, okay? Your questions in classroom are going to be questions in classroom. Please finish these questions, and I will be checking these questions. That's all you're doing today. So you're categorizing who won the votes. Okay, you stop at section F. You're more than welcome to look at section G, but you don't have to yet. Okay, you don't have to. Just you're doing sections C. Sorry, you're doing section C, D, E, and F. Now, a number of students submitted work that was incomplete. Please don't do that. It's fairly insulting when I see something that is blank and I'm like, this student actually went ahead and submitted it without doing any other work. Like it's really it really bothers me. Some students also submitted work that was incorrect. I looked at it and I returned it to you. If it's not fixed, then that's when I contact home. So please make sure to fix that before you before the end of the day. Usually I check around 3 o'clock. Yeah, you guys are doing great. Please continue doing what you're doing. Um, you know, on Tuesday we're looking at the results of the election, and then Wednesday we're going to be looking at who should be president based on who won the most votes. Okay. Yeah. Please continue. Please reach out if you need help, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.